focused on? You want to know what I focused on? Reducing their sales resistance by asking questions because I actually cared about their situation. Sales resistance. See, most of you guys have a huge resistance to sales, right? We hate sales, we hate being sold to. We show up on a car lot or a shoe store or an open house, right? We show up and the salesperson is like, hey, can I help you? What do you say? I'm just looking. That's all I'm doing. But the fact is that because we have resistance to sales, okay, we believe our prospects have the same resistance to sales. Because we believe and assume that our prospects have the same sales resistance as we do, it creates fear and anxiety around calling them. It's the craziest thing in the world. I hear the story over and over and over and over again. They're like literally yesterday I heard this story. An agent has a buyer, a very ready, willing, and able buyer, really motivated to buy in this subdivision. They won't call, the agent won't call the property owners because they think the property owners are going to think that they're lying about having a buyer when they have a buyer. Now you're not doing your buyer any justice by not pursuing the properties they might buy. And let me tell you something. If a property owner tried to say I was lying about having a buyer I had, I'd be like, what, you want me to bring them to you right now? You want pre-approval? You want, what do you want? I have a buyer. What you need to write an offer? You see an offer? What is it you want me to do? It's called stereotype threat, right? And this is the reason I've tried to figure it out for years and years and years. Why people are scared to make calls? And the reason is because you're worried that they're going to think you're a pushy salesperson when you're not. But you're worried that they might think that, so you're scared to call, right? How many of you guys can relate? Right. A lot of people in this room. And here's the fact. I've been doing this a long time. This, right, everybody's like, why do so many agents fail? Because they won't call people to do deals. This is the number one reason why agents fail in the business. You don't have to cold call. Call somebody. I don't care who you call, right? This is not a cold call talk speech. This is call somebody speech. Okay? You're not going to do business if you don't talk to anybody. This is the number one reason why. Listen, there he is, Gil. I was wondering about that line. You really show up to the buyer, get out the car. You better be excited. You're going to be a homeowner today. You got to prime them. You got to prime them. This is the number one reason why agents fail. Would you guys agree? Because there's no shortage of deals happening. Closings happen every day. They've happened every day of your life, more than you could ever handle. Today they're happening, and they're going to happen every day for the rest of your life, more than you could ever handle in your dreams, regardless of market conditions, rule changes, elections, right? So we have to defeat this. We have to realize this. What can we do? We just got to change our perspective. See, it's not our fault, right? We've been programmed this way our entire life. We've been programmed by first our parents, then our teachers, and now our brokers. It's not their fault either. It's how they were programmed. But at the end of the day, it's what's got us where we are. And where is that? Scared to make money. See, you thought I was going to say call, but guess what? One of my early mentors, he told me, he said, Ricky, if you're scared to make calls, you're scared to make money, son. If you're scared to make calls, you're scared to make money. So you scared to make money? Then why don't you make the calls? It's really this simple. It's really this simple. Now, to bring it back, We've been programmed to value money much higher than we should, right? We have. We've been programmed to value money much higher. It's just money. Say it with me. It's just money. We've been programmed to think time is money. No, it's not. How many of you would like to triple your business? Everybody, right? Okay. Can you triple the amount of hours you work? You can triple the amount of hours you work? You gonna work 30 hours a day? Some of you probably could triple the amount of hours. The point is, if you're working 8 hours a day, you can't work 24 hours a day. So tripling what you're doing, working harder is not the answer. Working more hours isn't the answer. Right? So what's the answer? It's tripling your business. Well,
automation.
it's learning higher level skills than what you have now. Right? It's learning to become more efficient. Right? Look at it like this. If you want to do more deals, right? It's not about doing more deals. Because here's the thing. Leads are everywhere. I mean, 90% of you raised your hand and said you would buy something a while ago. Right? Leads are everywhere. Leads aren't the problem. Right? You don't need to do more deals. You need to do deals faster. See, the amount of deals you're doing right now are the amount of deals that you can handle. Everybody can handle a certain amount of deals. Now you may be thinking, oh, I can do more contract to close. I can handle more like pending deals. That's not the process. The process is the lead gen, meeting the people, talking to them, nurturing this person to the point that they buy or sell something, and then working the contract to close. It's a whole process before that. And the reason why you can't handle any more, sure you can handle more if people just drop pending deals in your lap. Yeah, I can handle more. But can you handle the whole process of planting those seeds, right? Planting enough of these seeds to get through the process with enough people to have as much to have? No, you can't. Why? Because you're not doing it. Why? But it's available, but you're not doing it. Why? Because you can't handle it. So it's not about doing more deals. Think about it. If you could do deals faster, then you could do more deals. Right? So it's about being more efficient. It's about, who was I talking to yesterday about this? There was an agent, Chris, and we were talking about the different little Darwin. We were talking about the little nuances within the deal. Spending so much time setting up showings, right? Spending so much time setting. There's just the little things that you can do. What I like to do is get to the conversation quicker, because most people spend their time, lead gen, time, money, and energy to get to the conversation, and I just call them. Because I know that's where it's at. But if you're going to increase your skill level, okay, that means you got to learn something new. Okay, so I'm going to dig in a little bit more. Most agents come to events like this. They're all fired up. They want to learn something new, so they can do new things, right? So they come in, they're ready to learn these new things. And when they leave the event, what do they say? They say things like this. They say things like, oh, it was great. I've heard most of that before, heard that before. It was a great refresher. Yeah? Yeah? It's a great refresher. Or they say, it was a great confirmation. Right? I confirm what I'm doing is right. I'm on the right path. Right? I'm good. And what happened? Okay? What happened right then? Because they walked in, I'm going to learn all this new stuff, and they left with the same knowledge they had before, and now they're going to go do the same stuff that they were doing before. Why did that happen? I'll tell you why, if you really want to know. Because their brain is protecting them from change. See, their brain, it's selective hearing, selective attention. See, they only heard the parts in the event that confirmed what they were doing was the right stuff, because that's what their brain wanted them to do to protect them from the change necessary to reach higher levels. Why is your brain protecting you from success? It's because success is change. Success equals change. You cannot get to a higher level doing what you're doing now. And so you subconsciously do this. You don't even know it. You walk away, you're like, oh yeah, it was great, I'm excited. You have some extra energy and you go make some calls. But at the end of the day, nothing really changes. You don't really have any quantum leaps in your business. Not because the information wasn't there, but because you subconsciously chose not to absorb it and apply it to your business. So my challenge to you is when you listen to speakers and you come to an event and you watch podcasts and you read books, don't allow your brain to prevent you from learning the new things that you got to learn to get to the next level. Because let me tell you something, the information is there. You just have to be willing to take it and run with it, right? And it hurts. See, change hurts. Change is hard. People are scared of change. That's why nobody wants to do it. So they stay comfortable. They're succeeding at a level. So they're just like, oh, you know, and they just keep clipping along. But man, could they go to the moon? Each and every one of you could go to the moon. Time is not money. Time is more valuable than money. People are more valuable than money. Relationships are more valuable than money. And when you realize it, and you quit trashing, right? You'll stop trashing relationships, people, and time for money. Can I get a ooh?
Heck yeah.
Yeah, give it up for yourselves. Absolutely. Now imagine this. All right, imagine you wake up and your business is doubled. How does that feel? What are you doing? How does it feel? Right? Ooh, just right in the head. Go to bed at night. Ooh. A year later, it doubles again. Right? How does that feel? God, somebody's tickling. I'm telling you right now, I've seen this story play over and over and over again. Right? I've coached agents. It's happened to me, my business. Every single person, every agent. There's enough business. It's only a matter of perspective and absorbing that new stuff and applying it to your business. That you can double your business and then you can double it again. I've watched agents double their business all the way to their potential. Because most of us are not playing at our potential. Right? So I want to share with you guys what am I on time? Oh, good. I want to share with you guys 3 transformational success principles. Okay? I want you to remember buffet, problem, leads. Because that's what I'm going to cover. Buffet, problem, leads. Now, I got in business in 2002. Anybody been in business longer than that? All right. You guys know, there was no Zillow. There was no Facebook. What was it? Well, when eFax came out, where they faxed and it came to my email, that was a game changer.
Yeah.
Electronic signatures, I was like, how are you gonna sign with their email? That's legal? I was like, no, there's gonna be a lot of fraud. So I get in business, and what happens? I'm poorly trained. I'm trained to write a contract, but I'm not really trained to sell. Right? I'm trained, but I'm just poorly trained. So I go down that road that all of us have been down. And it was 8 long months, and I am working. I'm 20 years old, right? I never want anything my whole life than to make it in real estate, make $1 million. This was eternity, 8 months. And so finally I had a deal, right? Well, I'm not even gonna lie, it was my grandmother's condo. Rest in peace. But I closed on another one on the same exact day. So I did 2 deals in one day, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is it. So I started closing 2 a month. And after about 1.5 years, I kind of started to understand I was doing it wrong, right? As far as how to close people, how to help people in the business. And I looked back at that 8 months I didn't sell anything, and I realized there were several prospects that I could have closed. Like, they were telling me they wanted to do deals, but I couldn't hear it. I wasn't hearing it because you don't know the lingo. You can't pick up the cues. But anyway, I still didn't understand it. I just knew that there was something there. I was too busy making $1 million. The market exploded. And it was 2021 back then. I mean, it exploded for like 2 years straight. It was just boom. And we had our biggest year ever in the country, 7 million existing home sales, right? In 2005, 7 million existing home sales, right? 2021 was 6 million existing home sales. If that gives you any comparison, we will hit 7 million again. Sometime in the next decade, we're gonna have a year where we hit 7 million homes. Existing home sales. You're gonna wish to God you're in the business and gave it everything you got until that year happens. But the market exploded. I have time. I was doing deals with people. I would call them. I would say, "Let me sell your condo. You want to make $200,000 a day?" Somebody would take me up on it. I would do the deal. It would take an hour to sell it. It'd close, never hear from that person again. They didn't want to hear from me. Like, they're not fixing to buy another condo for $200,000 more than what they just bought it for a year ago. They're out. They're just like, oh, there's $200,000. I'm chill. So I didn't have to create any relationships at the time. I could literally pick up the phone and call 10 people and say, who wants to make 100 grand, 200 grand, 300 grand a day? And somebody would take me up on it. And it was so easy. So I didn't have to, right? So when the market crashed, guess what? I lost everything. And I mean more than everything. I lost my houses, my cars. I had a Hummer, a Cadillac, CTSV. I had houses. I was like, I'm a 23-year-old real estate mogul. Like, I'm retired. I'm set. This is life. See? You don't like it when I say certain things. You don't like it when I say certain things. Here I am, though. So I lose everything, and my friend gives me their car. Beat up Ford Contour, like a 92 model. Beat up door, I had to go in the passenger side to get in, boombox in the back so I could listen to music. When I passed the cop at night, I had to ride the brakes a little bit so the lights came on the back so that they think I had tail lights when I didn't. And I slept in that car. And people are like, well, why didn't you go home to your mom and dad? Well, they got divorced a little bit of time before that. Mom moved to Tennessee, and dad was living in a camper too, right? So I was homeless, sleeping in my car at this time, a millionaire the year before. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because I didn't understand how the game actually works. I got thrown into this whirlwind of a market at a young age, made a lot of money, and made a lot of mistakes. I was not playing the long game at all whatsoever. Real estate is a long game. You can't get to $1 million a year with leads that you get the year you make $1 million. Okay? You make the $1 million from all the people you met through your career that compounds into the year you make the million and those leads you got that year. They combine to make the million. You don't make $1 million off. You're not going to do some lead thing and get all these leads and make $1 million. You could if you're doing some kind of weird, like there's exceptions to the rule. High-end luxury, commercial stuff. But for regular everyday agents, you're not going to get to the million off the leads you got the year you made the million. It's a compounding effect of the leads and relationships and seeds you've planted all the years past. So guess what you got to have? A system in place where they never forget you. Or they will forget you, and they'll use one of the other 50,000 agents in the area. See, that's the thing. You got to be the one out of 50,000. I don't know how many agents are around here, but you got to be that one out of all them tens of thousands of agents. The one that they're like, this is the one. That's big. That's hard to do. That takes time to build that level of trust. Before you can have a large volume of listings, first, you have to develop a high level of trust with a large volume of property owners, right? Write it down and think about it for a couple days. In order to have a large volume of listings, first, before the large volume of listings are in your MLS, in your name, before that, you have to develop a high level, not just a level, not just some trust, a high level of trust with a large volume of property owners in your market. So you have to start thinking about that. How do I develop a high trust with a level of high trust, right? With property owners, period, much less the high volume of property owners. Now you need to start thinking about what your game plan is. And it's a process. It's a journey. So the reason I lost everything was because I didn't understand that journey. I was just making money. I was kind of in it for me. When I got in real estate, the reason I did is because I wanted to help first-time home buyers. I'm going to save the world. I'm going to help I'm going to help first-time home buyers. I have 2 first-time home buyers, and I was like, I have never worked with a first-time home buyer ever again. That left me real quick, but I still had a servant mindset. I was still wanted to help people, but I got a little blinded by all that fast money. And I was like, let me get the money. I'll figure it out later. That's not a good plan. So here's what I learned through all that. I'm sleeping in my car, all right? And I remember sleeping in my car many nights. In parking lots and apartment complex parking lots and different things. What I learned through all that was that these 3, I'm gonna give you 3 of many principles, right? I'm gonna give you 3 right here, okay? And the first one is gonna help you with converting more listings, communicating with your prospects, and reducing your stress of your business, right? You guys want those 3 things?
Yeah.
Yeah. We ready? Okay, here's the first one. All right. Real estate is like an all-you-can-eat buffet for real estate agents.
Wow.
So when you go to a buffet at a restaurant, you go to a buffet, they got the food laid out. Can you eat all the food? I'm gonna try. I've been known to try a couple times, but it never happened. Why? It ain't gonna happen. You'll never eat all the food because you can only handle so much. There's more than you can handle. Now, the restaurant's full of people. Everybody's going up there, getting what they want. It gets down a little bit. What do? Bring more food out. It's a never-ending supply. Closings are a never-ending supply of chicken, mashed potatoes, corn. It ain't never going to end. And the cool thing is you can literally walk up there and pick whatever you want. Condos, homes, commercial, rentals, whatever you want. And what a lot of agents do, they go up there, they don't realize there's a nice spread. They're just like, I only see this rental. Or I only see this one buyer. I see it, so they get this piece of chicken, and they go all the way over here in the corner, and they sit down on this little plate with a little bitty chicken wing. And they just peck at it. And they don't know they can just devour it real quickly and go up there and like fill their plate up with as much as they want. Do you guys realize this? Tap yourself on the chest and say, I know. Mm-hmm. There's more than you can ever handle. Right? There's more than enough for everyone to have more than enough and still be more than enough left over. Right? And I'm just going to echo this again. I talked about it. It's not about closing more deals. It's about closing deals faster. And so I said this would help you with conversion. I said it would help you with communication. I said it would help you with reducing stress. When you realize that there's unlimited amount of deals beyond this deal that you spend all your time with, you talk differently to the client, number one. You're not worried so much. And guess what? Since you talk differently, because now you're not desperate for this deal, now all of a sudden they want to do business with you. So now you're converting more because you realize it's a sea. It's not a pie and everybody gets a piece. It's an ocean, right? The ocean throws waves every day, all day long. Never stops, ever. Same thing with closings. When you realize this, you ain't worried about it. You start communicating differently, and you start converting better. Does that help?
Yes.
Second one. It was problem. We're not in sales, we're problem solvers. So, to be a problem solver, first thing you gotta do is find what the problem is. When you stop trying to sell, and you focus on them and their situation and what they got going on, what they want to do. See, I never tried to get anyone, once I got to the place where I understood the game, I never tried to get anyone to do anything. I just help them do what they already want to do. See, they're doing it. That's the thing, they are doing it. They're buying and selling. You don't have to help them make that decision. You don't need to try to help them make any kind of decision. They're making all the decisions. You're just there to help them. See, our value is not in getting someone to do something or getting a listing, and our value isn't going out there and trying to pressure buyers into buying it so that's the value we bring to the seller. No. I mean, that value to bring that buyer would be based on how you price the property. Right? Your wealth is going to be determined by the amount of value that you provide people other than yourself. So stop thinking about how we're going to close this deal and just think about how we're going to help these people. So we're not in sales, we're problem solvers. I know we've got time, so I'm trying to wrap it up quick because I want to take maybe 2 questions before I dip out of here to the airport. Okay, and the last one was leads, right? All humans are leads.
Yeah.
See, when you get this, when you combine all this, the business is unlimited. We're not trying to get people to do stuff. We're just trying to help them do what they want to do. And that every single human is a lead. See, the problem is we've been programmed to think that leads are scarce, right? Because when we come into the business, it's like for sale by owners and Zillow leads and expireds and open house leads and Google and all the leads that we're taught. Those are all scarce, right? Because there's only so many for sale by owners at a given time. There's only so many expires at a given time, per day. There's only so many Zillow leads. There's only so many people going through an open house. So we feel like leads are scarce. No. Leads are everywhere. There's like, how many people are saying? There's like 70 leads in this room. There's people in this room right now that would buy a house that you could find that they can't find. That you could use that situation to find the house, maybe not, but create so many more relationships and find so many situations to then continue to work on. It's insane. It's the same thing Gil was talking about, actually. I actually like this talk. Very similar. All human, when you get this, they're like, oh my God, I can't, like, what, human, all human, what are you talking about, man? Like everybody? No, here's the thing though. When you realize it, now you realize why you got to niche down. Because everybody's a lead. See, every single person in the market is going to buy or sell something, or know people that are going to buy or sell things in the future, right? Every single person. Right? Even minors, teenagers, they're going to grow up and buy homes. Their mom and dad are going to buy homes. They're going to so I'm building my career. You know, some agents may be trying to close deals to get their 2024 numbers up, 2025 numbers up. I'm trying to get my career numbers up. I want to close like 2,000 to 3,000 units in the next 10 years. How can I make that dream happen? And so it's cool because when you operate in this manner, you build your short and long-term business at the same time. Because you're working people, trying to help them with their current problems, how to buy or sell deals today. If not, that's okay. You've got a machine in place where they never forget you, and now you build that to the moon, whereas in 4 years from now, the compounding efforts of all the relationships you build turn into $1 million a year. Ooh. Yeah, give it up. Give it up. I'm way over time, and I got to get me a cup of coffee. So, I just wanted to say one more thing, and then we'll take 2 questions. Is that okay? Okay. The market, I'm telling you, this is the moment that you have been. This has been the moment that you've been waiting on. But every day that goes by, this moment that you've been waiting on slowly starts to slip out of your fingers. And you're going to just keep on waiting, and it's going to completely slip out of your fingers, and you're going to wait till the market starts to improve, to actually get busy. That's too late to take advantage of the market. When do you take advantage of a market surge? Before, during, or after? Okay. It's right now. And it's inevitable. We know it's going to happen. Right? So get fired up. Right? Get out there and meet people. Make your calls. Right? It's just a perspective change. If you're not trying to sell them something, but just trying to help them do what they're already trying to do, that's an easy call to make. They're not going to think you're a pushy salesperson if you're not a pushy salesperson. Thank you, guys. You guys have a question for me? Anybody?
Not everyone at once.
Sometimes it takes a sec. Go ahead, brother.
Can we get the mic?
Yeah, I can see the mic.
Hello? I've been watching you for a long time, and for somebody that I've only been in the business 1 year, and what would you say to somebody that's just kind of starting out building that base level of the first year of like everything, you know, needing it for the next 10 years? Just some general advice of like how to get started with everything, you know?
Are you making calls now?
I just recently yesterday got Red X and all of that, you know, set up, so that's kind of the start for me. So
okay, here's what's interesting though, right?
Yeah.
So like we buy Red X, all right, and so that costs money, right? But the thing that's cool is that there's a ton of leads for free out there for sell by owners, door knocking, sphere of influence. Have you been doing all the free stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah? Because like that's the thing. It's like, and it's almost like when we buy Zillow leads. Like there's all these free leads though that are even better than Zillow leads. Like you're gonna spend all that money on Zillow leads. Well, why are you doing that? Well, I'm scared to call these leads. When I spend a lot of money on these and I feel better about calling them, well, you're still calling someone and it's not as good a lead. Like it's insane the amount of people, the agents that spend thousands and thousands to not call people, just to try to run around and call the people they spend thousands to get. Like, in my opinion, maybe this works for some people, like if I buy the lead, I'm really going to work it hard. In my opinion, the way that I operate, like if I'm not calling the free leads and like working them just as if they're like a $5,000 lead, then I ain't going to work the ones I paid for. Right? But I'll tell you what you should do. Call expireds, call for sell by owners, and look for buyers. What do you want to buy? Where are you moving? What do you want to buy? Okay. Oh, expired. You You know, you don't want to sell anymore, cool. What, you want to buy investment property, or what do you want to buy? Find buyers within the for sale by owners and expires, right? And then turn around, figure out what we're going to buy, and then call all the owners that want, that they would buy, right, the property. But don't tell the owners you got a buyer. Tell them you got this other house that's nicer than their house, that you want to show it to them just to see what they say. Keep the buyer in your back pocket, right? And just keep that ball rolling, right? And then take everybody you talk to, put them in a database, and do a weekly email on the same day of the week forever. That's what's going to get you to the $1 million while you're crushing your 2024, 25, and 26, right? And just work 8 hours a day.
It's kind of loose cute. Come on, guys. This is Ricky Career. Thousands of agents. So I want to ask you a question, Ricky. What do you say to the mindset of the agent or the team leader or even the broker that does not hold themselves or their people accountable?
Find a job. Go do something else, right? Because that's the thing, right? Like, people need a coach for either the fundamentals or accountability, or they have some kind of mental perspective change they need, right? You know, and I get the accountability part, but there's got to be a very high level of self-accountability. If you're going to be a business owner, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, if you're going to be a real estate agent, you have to have such a high level, like, okay. I'm glad you asked that. It's going to be a good one to end it on, unless I'll take one more after this. Speaking of self-accountability, one of the reasons why agents don't make calls, they're not confident. Okay? And it's not always because it's the same thing, but a lot of the agents that aren't confident to make the calls, you know why they're not confident? Because they don't trust themselves. Because they said, I'm going to wake up in the morning at this time, I'm going to go work out, and then it didn't do it. So they let themselves down. They let themselves down over and over and over again, to the point that they don't trust themselves. And if they don't trust themselves, then how can I be confident enough to instill trust into someone else for me? See? So same thing. I'm going to make calls. Right? At 9 o'clock, I'm all fired up, and the 9 o'clock comes and you're like, oh. Okay? You're letting yourself down. See, you're the only person that knows every lie you ever told. Because you're the one you told it to. And so you're losing this confidence in yourself. Like, you don't trust yourself. How can you help? And so here's, I'm gonna end it. You go to talk to a prospect. Okay, you're trying to talk to prospects, and something's off. They know something's off. You even know something's off. They don't want to do business with you. You're not the 1 out of 30,000. Some red flag going on there. Neither one of you can put your finger on it, but I'm telling you what it is. You don't trust yourself, and they can hear it. They can put their finger on it, but there's something off about this person. They don't trust themselves. So, you mean me tell you how to build confidence? Quit lying to yourself. And do what you said you were going to do every single time you said you were going to do it exactly how you said you were going to do it, if nobody else but for yourself.
One more hand.
Hi Ricky, I'm Lauren Maxwell. I run the Maxwell Mortgage Team, and I have a lot of your same beliefs, so how do I get an appointment with you so we can do business together?
I got OnlyFans. You can just send me a message on Instagram. Yeah. That's why I'm on the stage. Somebody messaged me on Instagram. I think you had a question? Oh, okay, you were just like, hallelujah. Thank you guys.
One more and the last one.
Yep.
Hi everybody, my name is Alicia Cameron.
I thought you were going to say Alicia Keys. I swear to God.
My question is, what is your daily schedule look like?
Good question.
I don't know if y'all ready for that. No, what I would suggest is, do your morning routine, whatever you do, right? 8 o'clock you're working, right? 8 to 5 you're working, I'm assuming, right? What do you do during 8 to 5? 8 o'clock, you should be organizing your day, right? What am I gonna do? That's what I do. I organize my entire day. I have it all on a sheet. I know exactly everything I do. That way I ain't gotta think the rest of the day. I just look down. At 8:15, I'm gonna study my MLS. Right? I want to study my hot sheet, really listen every day. I want to look at that because I want to know everything about the market. I want to know everything from the market 2 weeks ago. I want to watch it go into contract today. I'm watching the whole thing happen in real time. And anybody that asks me something, it's like second nature. I'm an expert, right? Very important. At 8:30, I'm making my follow-up calls. Probably got 2 or 3, right? Little irons in the fire. Got it. At 8:45, I'm figuring out who I'm gonna call. Who am I calling? What am I gonna say? What's the strategy? What situation am I calling about? What listing am I trying to sell? Who am I doing? And then at 9 o'clock, I'm dialing. From 9 to 12, I'm on the phone putting deals together. And then the rest of the day, I don't care what I do because I already crushed it.
Yeah.
Now I would document my process on video. I'm in the office making calls, right? I'm over here showing properties. I would document my process, right? That would be my content. Is documenting my process of being an agent. That's what I started doing when I started coaching. I was making content about me being an agent. I was just documenting myself selling and showing and doing listing appointments and making calls. That's how I built my brand in the way it is now, doing exactly what I'm telling you.
Right.
Good luck.
Thank you.